21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, candidate for Lieutenant Governor here in the state of New Mexico, Isabella Solis back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning, Mike?
Doing great. How was your holidays and New Year and all
It
that?
was wonderful.
Good.
It was a really nice time to just take a break and just stay home with family.
Get family
Yes.
and spend time there. Did you have do you have family nearby that you get to spend
No,
with? Or?
they all live out of state. All our children live out of state.
Oh, they've grown up and
Yeah.
spread their wings.
That's exactly right.
Well, they'll have to come back once in a while. and
Yeah,
visit.
they do.
Good.
They have children, so it's easier for us to travel, but we, opt not to travel this year.
Sure. Because nowadays, and I went home to visit family over the Christmas holiday, and that's one thing I realized. I don't have kids myself, but people that do, it's not just a simple task of put the kids in the car, put the kids on the plane, and go. They got to bring this, and it's literally a whole trunk of stuff. And you're like, man, I mean.
And
Like,
you're
it's just
correct about
one
that.
kid, right? You got a whole thing here. So yeah.
You're a whole entourage.
A lot of logistics involved
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So, well, I'm glad to hear the holidays went well for you here. Now we're in 2022. It's going to be a busy year here with the election and everything. Primaries are, less than 6 months away, give or take here. I imagine it's full turn the campaign moving forward right now, making the big run for getting the Republican nod here in June.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I was at the Chavez County Convention last night, and they had a full house. It was amazing. People are showing up in droves. They're wanting to get involved in the process.
Sure. I'm very curious to see, because I feel like just statewide with COVID and everything, we kind of live a little differently down southeast than other parts of the state. What's the reaction when you're going elsewhere and people's thoughts on, I mean, are they sick of this too? Or are they, because like we see stuff in the news and then you go up like Albuquerque and Santa Fe and everyone's still very stringent on everything. And I mean, everyone has their opinions on that, but you come down here and it's like, we'll do what we want kind of thing. I mean, what's the rest of the state acting like right now? Are they more like us? Are they more like Santa Fe, or is there somewhere in the middle? What are you seeing as you're going around the state?
Well, I think that it just kind of differentiates. I think it's dependent on the person. A lot of people that have had family members that have had COVID
Sure.
kind of have that fear.
More stringent.
So, yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
others that, feel like, I don't need to wear a mask and I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been pretty relaxed. Now,
Okay.
there are places where, you go in a place and they require you
Sure.
to wear a mask. And I mean, I follow those policies,
Sure.
although I don't agree with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if people were more or less strict, like, or people getting around like this area. Because I noticed when I went back east to Maryland, I was like, it's not like here. Granted, they were rampant with Omicron again. So, but everyone was very, people outside wearing masks, things, and it's like, all right, but I'm going to do it when in Rome, so to speak.
That's right.
But I just didn't know if that was like our state was kind of parts of it like that, and I just figured I was just curious, since you kind of see you're kind of all over the state right now, seeing what's going on and just kind of taking the pulse there. I was kind of curious.
Yes.
So let's talk about, we talked a little bit why you were running last time we had you on here, but kind of refresh folks. What made the decision for you to say I want to step up from what I'm currently doing and make a run for lieutenant governor here?
Well, Mike, I'm running for lieutenant governor because, as you well see, our freedoms are being really literally taken away, and the agenda of the governor is really just, I think it's really horrible, and I think that we need good people to step up and run for office. As a county commissioner, I learned so much at the county level, and so I felt like that experience would serve me well as a lieutenant governor, serving, as president of the Senate. I was the county chairwoman, so there was a lot of things to learn and I feel like that experience is going to serve me well. And I do intend to serve and fight for what is right in our country. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in our Second Amendment, and I am pro-life. And I think that it's time that the people in New Mexico stand up and fight for what is right. The more I think about it, what I see happening is that there are so many candidates running, and
Sure.
so we have to get past those gates, which is great.
Sure.
But I think that what we need is people to begin to vote. I know that they're kind of, you know, I guess, disappointed and
Sure.
maybe not really feel like their vote is going to count.
Not trusting in the process.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so I tell them to go out and vote anyway. And I'm asking the people of New Mexico to vote their hearts and their conscience this time, and not to vote by emotions. So many of the times we're emotionally tied to a candidate, and maybe perhaps that's not the best candidate.
Sure.
And we need to really vote, what your heart is telling you, and not what somebody else is saying about that candidate.
Absolutely. I've very much a proponent for do your own research.
Yes.
We live in a world where you're bombarded with information, which is good and bad. The problem is there's a lot of information that is just not credible, or just has nothing substantial to really prove that. In a day and age, you could literally just say what you want, throw it out in the ether, and someone's going to treat it as gospel. And we, as consumers of everything, need to be smarter about that. And so you're right. Do your just because you see a meme on social media doesn't mean it's gospel. Do your research. I know most people know this, but I'm going to say it. People have agendas.
Yeah, they do. Yes, absolutely.
And it may not be the agenda that you're for. And so you've got to sniff out what's real versus what's smoke and mirrors, what's just political jarring or whatever.
Exactly.
It is.
No, I think that is correct. It's if we want to win 2022, those are the things that we're going to have to do. And we have to understand that this is not, Tennessee, Kentucky, New York, Chicago. This is New Mexico. This is where we have 56% of the state includes Hispanics.
Yeah.
And so what we need to do is to be able to get the Hispanic conservative Democrat vote to push us over the top.
Sure.
And we need to build a winning ticket. So people have to really think about it. That's why I say you need to vote your heart, not emotions.
Sure.
And, trying to get a Hispanic on the ticket is going to be very important at this election.
Well, I always look at, and we talk about labels and conservative
That's
and
right.
liberal and this and that. And I hate painting labels, but when I think of Hispanic culture
Yes.
and just from my knowledge of it, growing up and meeting in meeting Hispanics and things, certainly my time last 20 plus years living here in New Mexico. But one of the things that's very apparent in Hispanic culture is the focus on family, the focus on tradition, things like that. And I'm not trying to label conservative, but those are very much conservative values. Where raising a person starts at home, and it's the responsibility of the family and the parents to raise this child, or just to bring and so to me that's I'm thinking, well, why isn't New Mexico more of a conservative state? Because I think our values tend to lean that way, just in our home lives and our personal lives and things. But we have a good marketing campaign the other way, and that's the world we live in. And it's like, what did you grow up to? What are you raised to? What do you like? And instead of, okay, that's an R, I need to stay away, or that's a D, I need to stay away, it's like, well, what do they represent sometimes? And then I think we need to, instead of getting wrapped up on a DR automatically, what's this person from, where they've done, what is their concern for New Mexico? And I think you're going to find that most people are going to lean to moderate conservative in that.
Yeah. Well, even if I have to think about it, I am a former Democrat, and I changed my party affiliation, but I had very conservative values. And so I think that the way I campaign is that I don't ask people whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I ask them, what are your values? I want to know what you believe in. I want to hear what you have to say. And as I begin to speak to them, they think just like us.
Sure.
They believe in our country. They believe in our flag. And, so many Hispanic veterans believe and fought for our country. And they believe that our flag is so important, and all the Constitution.
They defended it.
And
Absolutely.
they did that is exactly right. And they're very proud people. But some of them may be Democrats, but we have the same values. And I believe that these Democrats will vote Republican. But I think that we need to find and speak to them at a place where it's about we the people, not about whether you're Democrat or Republican. Because as a Democrat, my grandparents, my parents, it's more like a tradition,
Sure.
and it had nothing to do with our values. So I think that we need to come at that angle.
And let's face it, we all have seen the news. We all watch what's going on. I would say both parties you could make an argument here. There's extreme elements that have infiltrated higher levels of both parties. I mean, there is a very extreme liberal agenda going on in the Democratic Party, and vice versa. There is a sect in the Republican Party that's very crazy wackadoo the other way, and they have where they lack in numbers, they make up for in voice and loudness because of the world we live in today. So now more than ever, you almost got to rally the middle a little bit in the conservative to say, hey, I get change and I get some progressive or some this, but come on now, we this is where's our tradition, where's our value system, where are the things that we hold dear for our whole lives now all of a sudden are being attacked? When do we get to speak up about that? And I think that's the bigger picture here is letting the extremes on both sides get too loud of a voice here.
Yeah, and you're right about that. Now, even if I think about it, I know that Republicans have always been people, as myself, and even Democrats, that we've always believed in God. And we've always, that was kind of the first thing that we do when we have meetings. We do the Pledge of Allegiance and we pray.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And so what I am seeing today is that, we see the Democrats breaking the laws, breaking the rules, breaking the policies. But I am also seeing that the Republicans also break the laws, break the rules, and break the policies. And so in a party, if we are the ones that are supposed to be the example, saying we pray and we believe in our flag, we should not be breaking laws and we should not be breaking policies. We should be the example to say we believe in the rule of law. So we need to come back to that place of integrity.
Yeah.
We need to come back to that place where, there is loyalty in our group and in our team. And so that's what I feel like. We don't have any more loyalty because somebody can say I'm this, that, or the other, but at the end of the day, they're not loyal.
Sure.
And that's what we're missing, loyalty and integrity. And if we can build a party that deals with loyalty and integrity, I think that we have a better chance of being the example that we say we believe in God.
Sure.
And let's make changes that we need.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this real quick, since we're getting ready to go into the legislative session here. Obviously, Lieutenant Governor, this is something that you'll be paying a lot of attention to, here in the next one, hopefully.
That's right.
But so let me ask you, going into this session, what's your greatest worries? What are your greatest hopes here? What when you look at this 30-day, what are you hoping they do? What's scaring you the most about this 30-day session?
Well, what scared me the most is the fact that the governor and the Secretary of State want to pass legislation that says 16-year-olds can vote. They want to make the permanent ballots, that where you can just mail them and, and that's
Sure.
it. And so I think that concerns me the most. I think that our team is going to have to really stand up and fight that piece of legislation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can think about why they're doing that.
Oh,
and think
absolutely.
about-
I think that they're running scared and
Sure.
they're doing everything that they can to sabotage the Republicans.
Well, I just like to point this out. I get it. 16-year-olds want to be adults. They talk sometimes kind of like adults, act kind of like adults, but they're not mentally developed fully yet. That's why we don't let them drink alcohol. That's why we don't let them smoke cigarettes.
Right.
We give them some responsibilities, ability to drive the car. You're ready for that. But for people that, let's say, for an age group that on average spends probably 5 minutes a week studying politics and the news,
Right.
you're going to give them the keys to the kingdom when they clearly don't. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't want 16-year-olds to be actively involved. I do, but I don't know if they're mentally mature enough at that point to discuss and talk about these issues in an official capacity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I think that I don't want to say that they're not very smart or wise.
Yeah.
That we do have a lot of 16-year-olds that are very sharp, but I just don't think that they're matured into that place.
Absolutely.
And, I don't know that politics is important to them at 16,
Was it to you or me? I'm thinking it
I don't
wasn't when I was
recall that
16.
it was, no.
I was like, I'm trying to get a car. there was a certain lady I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
your
all I
mind
cared.
is-
And I got to pass a test. You know, I'm
Yeah.
hoping I don't get in trouble because I did my classes. You know,
Right. Your
That
mind
was-
is somewhere else. Yeah.
That's it. Or I got to get a summer job so I could pay for my piece of junk car that I have. You know
Yeah.
that was what I cared about at 16.
That's right. Yeah.
And so, but you're right. It's. I mean, I get wanting to get younger people involved, and that's great. But saying, okay, we're going to let you vote at 16. I mean, that seems a bit extreme to me.
Yeah,
But
it is. I think so. Yeah. So I'm just concerned about that piece of legislation, and I think that the Democrat Party is just kind of running scared. But
Sure.
I think that we as a people need to continue to work hard and rise up and keep fighting, and just draw the line.
Absolutely. So, are you? How much longer are you in town for? Are you doing stuff here today, or are you heading back up north here?
I'm going to Santa Fe this morning.
Okay.
I'll be up there at a FRW meeting.
All right, good deal. Well, that sounds like a fun haul back up there. I do want to ask, like you talked about, being, passed as a county commissioner, things like that. How much of that translates? Because when you work with a commission, obviously, but you do have other people up there that you kind of have to bounce the ideas and come to an agreement on. As lieutenant governor, that's a little bit different scenario. I mean, how does some of those skills translate for you when you say, all right, I got to work with a group of people here as lieutenant governor? You're kind of on your own, but at the same time, you gotta, you're the lieutenant governor. You gotta make headways and do things that you don't have necessarily the same avenues that the governor would have there.
Right.
How does that translate for you as far as that experience and that just the kind of the day-to-day minutia of being a county commissioner?
So as a county commissioner, we had a resolution, and I spearheaded a $10.2 million road initiative. And in order to get that passed for my district, I had District 37. And in order to pass that, I had to talk to my colleagues. And so I have to say, look, commissioners, I think, and I can only talk to one commissioner, so at a time. So
Yeah,
I can't
because of the
talk to-
meeting rules and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're in the actual meeting, you all can't hang out very much together. Yeah.
So I kind of had an idea that one was what I was saying was kind of registering with that one. So the one that was not really paying attention, I would go and try to say, look, Commissioner, this is important not only for my district, but also for the entire county. This is crucial. As a county, we are to provide the infrastructure, and people need roads. And so I was able to work across the aisle with my colleague. And I believe that as a lieutenant governor, I will work across the aisle, to be able to pass, whatever we're going to be voting on.
Sure.
To be able to be a person of influence, work across the aisle with people, Democrats or Republicans. Because, at the end of the day, I can't say, we can't work on your road because you're a Democrat.
Right.
We can't work on your road because you're a Republican. That is ludicrous.
Yeah.
As an elected official, we work with all people, and you have to be able to have that talent and ability to work across the aisle, to
Sure.
be able to bring things to what the people of New Mexico want.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you see, that's a big thing here on infrastructure and roads here.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
that's something we definitely pay quite a bit of attention to here in southeast New Mexico.
Yes.
Let me give you an opportunity to let people find out more about you, your website. Like I said, you were in town last night, but you're heading back up north here. First off, give out website and places people can go to learn more, to donate to the campaign, to get more involved in your campaign for Lieutenant Governor.
Absolutely, Mike. They can go to my website at isabellaforlg.com. That's my website. And they can also donate online. They can. I have a phone number. I have an email address, isabellafornewmexico@gmail.com. They can reach me there. They can also call 575-312-6511, and they can call if they have any questions. And I would love to have their support and their vote. And also for people to know that I am bilingual, and I think that Nuevo México necesita a alguien que hable en español, ¿verdad?
See? I heard something about speaking Spanish in New Mexico. Isn't that true?
Yeah, New Mexico, I need someone that can speak Spanish to be able to represent them.
Perfect. I know enough Spanish that I pick out words and get the gist
¿Dónde
of
está el
something.
baño?
Yeah.
Where's the bathroom?
I can fake it till I make it. There's There was a movie, Encino Man, back in the 90s, and you're sitting in a classroom and they're learning Spanish, and they're saying, like, the cheese is very old. El queso is, yeah, it's just funny. Everyone repeating, so the cheese is very old. Well, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate some time, spending some time with us here. Safe travels up to Santa Fe here, and we look forward to talk to you, I imagine, quite a bit over the next 8-9 months here. So
Thank you so much, Mike. God bless you. And it was great. Appreciate
absolutely,
it. Thank
thank
you.
you very much, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
All